Good morning, Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man. Welcome back to another podcast episode. We're going to be reading from our daily bread in Deuteronomy chapter 2, verses 7. For the Lord thy God has blessed thee in all the works of thy hand. He knoweth thy walking through the great wilderness. These 40 years the Lord thy God hath been with thee. Thou hast lacked nothing. God pledged to carry his people Israel safely to the land he promised to Abraham. After the promise was fulfilled, God wanted the people to review their experience. It wasn't because God needed a pat on the back. It was because he wanted his people to remember that they could always trust him to provide for their needs, that they could call on him and he would hear and respond. Going back up into the reading, it says, For the Lord thy God has blessed thee in all the works of thy hand. So the Lord is responsible for the blessings that we have, the things that we do, the strength that we have, the motivation that we have, the encouragement that we have. Everything that we have is because the Lord has blessed the works of our hands, has given us the ability to be able to get up every day and to keep going forth, going to the job, keep going forth, working in the purpose. So we don't have anything just because it is the Lord that blesses our hand. He knoweth thy walking through the great wilderness. The Lord knows our trials and tribulations. He is aware of the wilderness. He is aware of the shortcomings. He is aware of the struggles, but he still blesses us in the wilderness. These 40 years the Lord thy God have been with thee. The Lord is with us, whether we believe it or not, whether it is hard to believe when we go through the trials and tribulations, but the Lord will never leave nor forsake us. And that is something very, very powerful that you have to believe even when you are going through the wilderness, even when you are going through tough situations. You have to believe that the Lord is still there, even in that bad situation, which is easier said than lived, but it's a personal belief. Thou hast lacked nothing. Again, very, very easier said than lived when you're actually seeing things look like they're crumbling, and they may even be crumbling. But you have to believe that no matter what is going on around you, that you have lack for nothing. You need nothing, and the Lord has provided you with everything that you need. He is blessing you even in those tough seasons as you go through the wilderness. Going back down into the reading, the Lord promised that he will carry this people no matter what is going on to the promised land that he promised to Abraham. One thing about God is when he makes a promise, sometimes we think that it has to happen tomorrow, it has to happen today. And I could be a witness to that, but that's not how it works. Sometimes the promises of God may not even make that generation. It might make the next generation and the next generation, but you don't stop working. You don't give up just because you may have not seen that, or just because it's something that you may not receive. You are to go forward for the people after you. It's not about us. Our lives are not our own. We were put here to help one another. So we are trying to get ourselves in alignment to receive the promises that the Lord has left for Abraham. He told Abraham that he would bless all of his seeds due to his obedience. So no matter what is going on around us, we still have to be obedient, because there is other people connected to us. It may be your children. It may be people that you don't even know, but we have to go forth and allow the Lord to carry us no matter what is going on, because there's a promise that someone else needs to reap. They're in your life as well, and they need that. That's just the way that the Lord set it up. And after a while, the promise will be fulfilled. The Lord wanted he wanted the people to review their experience. So after everything that the people had went through trying to get to the promised land, the Lord wanted them to review the experience that they lived through in the wilderness. Oftentimes, it's harder to get a lesson. It's harder to understand something when you're still in it. But after the storm and you look back on it, you're able to get the lesson, the blessing, the understanding. You're able to see more clearly of the things that happened in that situation. So I would advise to do that in general, just to sit back and look at the experiences that you already learned in life, because you'll be able to learn from them now that you're not in that situation. The thing about life is that we're going to have the trials and tribulations that is just destined to all of us. when those things come, we have to learn how to get the information, get the wisdom, get the experience out of it. That way, when that problem tries, because the enemy, he just comes back. It's just a cycle of delusion. He just does the same thing. So when he comes back the next time, you learn from the previous time that, hey, I've lost a job before, right? And this time I was able to get another job. So I've seen it before. Now, this time when I lost the job, we rebuke the devil in the name of Jesus. I know that it's going to come back around. So we have to review the experiences. We have to take the information. What did I do wrong in that situation? Was I coming to work late? Or, so just sit back and review the experiences that you had. And this can go for anything in our lives, relationships, friends, jobs, spiritual relationships. Just sit back and review those experiences, because then we'll get the information, because we don't have to, we shouldn't have to walk through 40 years and 40 nights again when that has already been done before us. So it's something that we're missing to why we keep going back through the same problems. So the person in their testimony said it wasn't that God needed a pat on the back saying, hey, you did a good job. It was just simply because he wanted us to remember to always to trust him when we're going through anything. That way that we know we have a provider. So the Lord wants us to call on him, pay attention, and he will hear our prayers and respond to us. So Alexis Love Beauties and Flawless Man, when you get time today, I encourage you to read Deuteronomy chapter 2, verses 7. And I encourage you to review your life, look back over the things that you already lived through, and know that no matter what is going on, the Lord is with you. He will never leave you, and he's always blessing the work of your hands. God bless you.